Welcome back to Fox 9 Morning News.
Welcome back. Happy Sunday. Let's give you a live look at the state capitol this morning. Lawmakers working through the night as they race against the clock. The 2024 legislative session wraps up at midnight. And there is still a lot of work left to do, despite major bills getting passed. Joining us now is Senate Minority Leader Mark Johnson, giving us kind of an inside look at what lawmakers are up to today. Thank you so much for joining us on this busy morning. I know we've kind of talked about that. There's a lot going on. But let's get right to it. We know that the deadline is coming up here very soon for the end of the legislative session. What are maybe some of the priorities when it comes to today here at the Capitol?
Hey, good morning, Say. It's wonderful to be on with you this morning. So what the Democrats still would like to get through is 13 bills that are coming up here. But as you know, after yesterday's meltdown in the Senate, which set us back about 12 hours, it's really getting to be a very difficult time to get these bills through, especially one of the one bill that I think that we should be doing this year is the bonding bill, but that really put it into jeopardy this yesterday during that time when Omar Fateh and others were demanding an Uber Lyft bill going forward.
Yeah, definitely. We know that was a big talker as well. Just a little over an hour ago, the House just passed the Jobs Budget Conference Committee report. Can you just maybe lay out what this means for Minnesotans?
Yeah, there's a number of things. Now, these larger bills have been filled up with a number of items mixed throughout that aren't really the same items. You know, you think of a jobs bill, you think of just money for jobs, but there's other provisions in there too, dealing with other aspects of government in there as well. So in the jobs bill, what you saw was a lot of money going out to nonprofits across the state. Jobs bill, you think there'd be a metric for how many jobs that's supposed to create or sustain, and really that bill itself looks like it more or less just sustains the nonprofits, and so that's where they get the jobs aspect out of it. But again, tens of millions of dollars going out on that particular one. I wish we would have spent more time working on the roads and bridges and infrastructure across the state, but the Democrats have really prioritized some of these other items over I think what the real needs in Minnesota are.
Yeah, definitely. And as we get closer to the presidential election, this is kind of a big topic as well. I mean, gun control also on the floor this session. What is kind of the status of this? What are you thinking here?
You know, that's going to be an interesting one today. I mean, we passed something a little bit earlier, but there's another piece of that today dealing with straw purchasers and some of the workings of firearms too. And so that might come to the floor today. We're not sure what that would look like at this point, but Republicans have really supported a very clean straw purchaser bill and would have been an effective tool against someone who may buy a firearm for the use of a felony for somebody else. So we're looking at that one. Hopefully we can figure out an agreement there.
Yeah, it looks like something we'll have to keep on top of for sure. I know that this is another big talker right now. Just before 4:30 this morning, Equal Rights Amendment passed. Obviously, this is very crucial when it comes to abortion rights. Can you explain this and what this means for Minnesotans as well?
Now, this is an interesting one. Now, you've heard of ERA before, Equal Rights Amendment. It's been around since the 1970s, but what's unique about this is it's not the same Equal Rights Amendment that you remember from then. I mean, there's some very extreme abortion protections in there, and there's also puts religious liberties really at risk through that amendment as well. And so it's more of a euphemism than anything to try to get people to believe it's just simply an equal rights amendment. Senate passed out a bill last year that I think we're more amenable to, but once the House got it, they changed the language to it, again, to make it one of the most extreme measures that we've seen.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you so much. Minority Leader Mark Johnson, thank you so much for your time joining us this morning on such a busy day. And we'll be sure to keep on top of this for you. Thank you.